Hi everyone. In the last lecture we saw if else, now we'll see switch statement, right? So switch statement can be used as an alternative to if else, but personally I use if else only, right? So it's a personal choice. Let's see the syntax first. So the syntax is this is the switch. It's a reserve keyword. This is case, again a reserve keyword, and this is default, which is again a reserve keyword, right? Inside switch there is some value, right? And there is some value and there is a case value. So what happens is the control checks the value with the case value. If the case value matches with the switch value, right? If this matches with this, then the code inside that case will be executed. And after that, when it encounters the break statement, the control will break out of the switch case, right? But if the break statement is not encountered, then there is a different case scenario. It will execute all the codes right here till the break statement is not encountered or the switch case is completed, right? So that's how the switch statement works. So if, for example, the value is 10, right? It doesn't match with case 1 or case 2 or any case, the default one will be executed anyway, right? So let's see the practical implementation of it, right? Let's end it. Let's delete it, right. The switch day, the day is Sunday, right? The day is Monday. All right, so it's 3, then it's Wednesday. If 3, then it's Wednesday. If it's 4, then it's Thursday. If it's 5, then it's Friday. If it's 6, then it's Saturday. Then it's 7, then it's okay. All right, I have messed up something. If the case is 3, then it's Tuesday. Anyway, all right, so let's execute. If the day is 5, the day is Thursday, right? 5, then it's Thursday. If it's 6, then it's Friday, right? So let if I put 12, it's invalid day. So the switch is working perfectly fine. All right, we are entering the day gets matches with the case value. But what if I don't put break here, right? Or what I will do is Let's put 5. Alright, just a minute. Alright. The day is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and invalid day. You can see something weird here. I put the case as 5. The day is 5. This is executed, right? After then, the break statement is not encountered. This is executed. Again, this is executed and this is executed. Once the case is matches with the switch value, this days matches with the case, then all the codes inside all the cases after that case will be executed. It will stop only when the switch statement ends or when the control encounters the break. Now, for example, if I put break here, well, let's see what will happen. See, I put break here, then this line of code is executed, then this line of code is executed. After that, the control encountered break, and the control breaks out of the switch case. So that's how the switch statement works. All right, you can practice this, and the most widely used conditional statement is if else, but you can use anything you want. All right, so let's jump to the let's jump to the loops. Let's jump to the loops, right? Loops are used when you want to repeat some part of the code based on some condition. For example, if I want to put print hello world, if I want to print hello world in real life, what will happen if I want to print hello world 20 times? So instead of using cout and writing cout 20 times, I will use 3 to 4 lines of code of loop, and my loop will print it not only 20 times, even 20,000 times, right? So there are 3 types of loops in C++. The first one is for loop, the second is while, and the third one is do while loop. We'll study each of them one by one. All right. Right. So here is the syntax. It's initialization, there is condition, and the updation. The most important part is condition. As long as the condition is true, the code inside the for loop will keep on executing, right? So this is the core fundamental, and the condition will be checked after updation. Once that, let's see the for loop control structure. This is the control structure. This will be the start of the loop. After that initialization, then for example, you check the variable, right? After the initialization, it will come to the condition. After condition, it will, if the condition is true, right? If the condition is true, the code inside the for loop will be executed and the variable will be updated. If after updation the condition is true, then it will keep on executing. So it's, it's a loop. Now, if the condition is false, it will break out of the for loop. The code outside of the for loop will be executed. Let's see. Right. Let's see if I want to print hello world 20 times. Now we will take a counter which will keep the track of how many times the for loop is already printed, right? For example, if I want to print hello world for only 5 times, right? Right, so it's printed 5 times. If I put here instead of 15, then it will print 15 times, right? So what it's doing, see, the counter is 1. Since the counter is less than equal to 15, it will execute this statement. After that, the counter is updated by 1, right? The counter is 2. It will again, this condition is true, this will print. And after that, when the counter is 15, it will execute this statement. And when it will encounter this statement, the counter will be 16. When the counter is 16, this statement is false and the control will break out of the for loop. Now we can use break statement also to come out of the for loop. See, now for example, if the counter is 3, then use the break statement. Now what will happen is, let's execute it. See, it will print only 3 times. The counter is 1, it will print. The counter is 2, it will print here. Once the counter is 3, right, it will execute these lines of code. If the counter is 3, right, it then break, right? It will encounter the break statement and the control will be the control will come out of the for loop, right? So that's how the break statement works. Even if this condition is false, it's true. The condition is perfectly true. The control is 3. And according to this condition, as long as the counter is less than or equal to 50, the code inside this will be executed. But we are making some modification and there is some special number 3 that we want, that after encountering 3, when the counter is 3, it should break out of the for loop. We can not only use break, we can use anything, right? Means basically according to the if statement, we can do anything we want, but the break statement is the one that allows us to break out of the for loop. Even what we can do is, if we don't want to use break, we can make the counter as 50. We can make the counter as 50. Now what it will do is, see, once the counter is 3, it made the counter as 50. Only this statement make the counter as 51 and made the condition as false. So that's how we can do it. So there are a hell lot of things we can do with for loop, right? So we can use it for the exercise later, but now let's see the while loop. While loop is actually much simpler in terms of implementation. The while loop is like, this is the condition, right? This is your condition. This is the code inside the for loop. Instead of for loop, it should be like while loop, right? All right. So the code inside the while loop, and as long as this condition is true, this thing will keep on executing, right? So here we have to keep initialization here and updation somewhere in the code itself. All right, so let's do this with the while loop, using while loop. Okay, I don't know why I put comments here. Anyway, so this is the while loop. There's some condition. Let's do some, like, let's say the counter is 1, right? This is our initialization. After that, let's skip the updation for now and let's see what will happen. And inside the while loop, let's say the counter is less than or equal to, till the counter is less than or equal to 5, keep on executing. It will still executing. Why? Because counter is 1, execute this. Counter is 1, execute this. We are not updating counter. The counter is not incrementing, right? See this code, pause it, and if you're not able to understand, pause it and understand it. Is counter updating? No. The counter is 1 and the condition is always true. So to make the condition false, we have to make updation. At least some point of time it should be false, right? There is no meaning of infinite loop. See, we are doing updation here. Even we can use for loop or whatever it is. We can use a break statement or whatever we want to do, right? But yeah, this is how this thing can be done in while loop. So let's jump to the core loop control structure. The while loop is like, as we have already seen, the start. This is the condition, and if the condition is true, right? If the condition is true, it will jump to the code inside the while loop, and after the next iteration, means obviously we have done some updation, and this condition is checked, and if the condition is false, the code inside the while loop is executed, right? It's while loop control structure, right? So that's how the thing is there. And since we have seen the program demonstration, let's jump to the do while loop. The do while loop is pretty much similar to while loop. Just the thing is, it will execute one statement first, and after that the while loop will be executed. This is the syntax. I guess we already seen this. Do is a reserved keyword, while is a reserved keyword in C++, obviously. The difference here is with the do while loop, it will execute this statement, this code statement first. Execute this statement first, and after that check the condition. After the condition, if the condition is true, it will execute this. If the condition is false, it will execute the code after loop, right? So regardless of what the condition is, if the condition is false or not, it will execute at least this thing once, right? Let me show you with this live demonstration, right? Let's all right, just a minute. All right. Now for example, even here we have to do all the things like initialization, right? Let's execute it. Okay, let's print a new line after every iteration. So it's printing once, right? So let's say if the counter is 10, 190, right? So this statement is already false, but it will first execute this line and will execute this, and in this it will check the condition. So it will execute this at least once, and after that it will execute the other lines of code. So that's how the do while loop works. I guess you have already understood the difference between while and do while is it will execute one statement at least in do while, regardless of whether the condition is true or false, right? In here, in do while, the initialization is also outside, like in the while. Here the updation is inside the body of the while loop. It's inside the body also, inside the do block, and obviously the syntax is a bit different, and that's the difference between while and do while, and the working is also a bit different in while and do while, right? So that's it for today. There is one exercise, right, for you guys. I hope you have understood the star pattern problem, the while loops, right? Loops, I guess you have understood. If you are not able to understand it, please understand it. Ask us anytime, anything. Just make sure you understand everything, right? If you are able to understand it, all right. If you are able to understand it, then print this, right? This is your exercise. Here it's 5, it's 4, it's 3, it's 2, it's 1. The first line have 1 star. Similarly, the fifth line have 5 stars. So that's how, that's the observation that you have made, that I guess you should have already made. You have to just use the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Use all 3 loops: for, while, and do while, right? Use all 3 loops here and make these 2 patterns. These are really basic ones. They are more complex one, and we can see whether you are able to solve these 2, right? You can just practice as much as you can. These if statement, if else statement, and the for loop, these are actually really simple. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you understood everything. If you're not able to understand any something, or if you have any little bit of doubt, just ask us, right? And make sure you understand it's basic and it's used in every programming language. Obviously, I cannot imagine my day using the without using the control structures, right? So that's it for today. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, stay tuned and stay safe, obviously. Bye.